we'll start our meeting. Dead snakes. All right. So, Jehan will take attendance. And today's meeting, because we're just kind of in like the home stretch of things, we're going to review those comments that we got in the box and online, and just kind of talk a little bit about that final report. John will do a status update.
Sorry about that. Let's see. You want to talk about the meetings now or at the end?
We could do that now.
Okay. So I got a phone call from Carmelita, and her last name escapes me at the moment. She's the secretary of the Common Council. We've also been in contact with Patricia McBride, who's the clerk, the city clerk, who the Common Council works with in doing these meetings. The expectation for the next few Common Council sessions regarding us is there's a study session on Wednesday, the 27th at noon. And Carmelita said that it's a public meeting, obviously, so anyone that wants to attend can attend. But during the study sessions, there's they're going to be looking to the committee chairs, the commission chairs, to answer any questions. And that's the expectation through this whole process. They only want the people representing the commission to be the ones answering any questions that they have. So the meetings we're talking about is a study session on Wednesday, the 27th, the Common Council regular meeting on August 1st, where apparently they will not be voting on our maps. The contact we got from Ms. McBride is they will be voting to move our maps to a special committee meeting. And that committee meeting, which was called by President Hudson, is going to take place on August 9th at 4 p.m. in the Common Council chamber. And again, that's where Molly and I will be there representing the commission. We'll have our folder with our final report, or the final report we need to submit with the maps. And that's when we're going to get grilled by everyone from the counselors to any of the public that shows up. And all of you are welcome. You're all the public to come, but you will not be tasked with answering any questions. It's not going to be like our meetings where anyone can jump up to the mic and answer a question. Okay, so the time and date for the Wednesday is noon for the Common Council session. Monday is 1 p.m. for the Common Council meeting. They also have a brief study session, takes about 20 minutes at noon on August 1st. And then August 9th at 4 p.m. in the Common Council chambers is where Helen Hudson has called the meeting for counselors to address us and have any questions that they have thought of over the last, they've had our map since late June. So any questions that they thought of that they want to grill us on, they'll be putting Molly and I in the hot seat on August 9th. So we'd appreciate you if you can be there for moral support, but that's the process. And I assume that they're going to vote on it at the August, I think there's a break, and the next Common Council meeting is August 22nd. So when they vote on it will be determined at a later date, but those are the times that we're going to have to be there to answer for what we've done.
You need to be there on the 22nd as well, or that's just a projected date?
That's a projected date, Jeff. They could, I was watching Common Council study sessions and meetings today for fun and entertainment. They've had an item on their agenda where they're trying to set a work day, a standardized work day for common councilors. They expect them to work 6 hours a day and this is the finance people who have to report to the state pension fund about how many hours these part-time counselors are working. And they've delayed voting on setting a standardized workday for the Common Council for about 2 months now. So they can certainly table a vote for as long as possible. I think October 1st is their drop dead date when they have to actually do something. So I really hope that they vote on it on August 22nd, but the council, has a history of putting off things that they don't want to do. So hopefully they'll want to do this and get it done.
Maritza, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I hope that for the meeting on August 1st, that we will all, as you said, John, show up for moral support, just to show that we're all behind this plan. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. I hope so too. Tony?
So I will definitely be there on August 9th. That's the meeting where you really need our support, right?
That's the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one. Basically, it's another public meeting that Helen Hudson is calling to get the last words in. Anybody that's got a last word on our map, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce guy or anyone else in the public who submitted comments, anyone that wants to get a last dig in on our maps has the opportunity on August 9th to do it.
And it's a dedicated meeting, right, John? Like maps is the only thing on board for that day. So it's just us. So I think, we all had our eyes set on August 1st, that was the big day, but it seems more like ceremonial in a way, like we hand our maps to you. And the 9th is really when we discuss things. So it's putting it off a little bit, but gives us more time to plan for that report that we're going to give them. Jihan is putting together folders for each counselor that we can hand them on that day with all of our information and the report. And so Josh is starting on that report, editing kind of like what he had from the draft plan to some of the things that have either changed or some of the reasons for everything that we've done in this map, so that they have all of that information backed up with data. So we're going to do that in the folders, and we would love everyone's input on that as well. So that is the update for now. If anything changes, we'll let you know, but those are the dates to keep in mind. So with that being said, we will move on to review the official comments that we've gotten from the comment box and from the online form. We'll just kind of move briefly through them just to recap. These are comments that are going to go in that after action report, and it's just a way to kind of document what people are saying. It's not to we don't really do anything with it for now. It's just so everything is on the record and official. So Jihan, I don't know if you want to share your screen. I know you have them all set.
If anyone else also wants to jump in and read, you could too. Let me know. Give me a second. Okay. Can everyone see it? Yes. Okay. So I'll start with the online form. I redacted the people who didn't want their information. So the first comment is, maps have not considered proximity to parks. Parks are an essential asset to how a community functions. Special events, passive and active recreation, and how the parks function are important considerations for counselors with a significant number of parks in their district. The current map splits Lower and Upper Onondaga parks into two separate districts. This enforces the higher and lower narrative about the parks that so many people are working to overcome. Right? Next comment is, this is redlining. I just bought this house and the new redistricting would lower my property value because it places me in a district of majority renters. I'm a homeowner and why should my district be moved 1 block over? This is outrageous. Okay, next comment. I approve of the new map.
Well, that's one positive.
Next comment. I think the proposed districts make a lot more sense than the old ones. Living in the valley, I feel more aligned with the south side than I do at Outer Comstack. Next comment. I like it, makes more sense than that old map. Next comment. Thank you for the time the members of this commission have given to Syracuse. Washington Square is one of the 26 officially recognized neighborhoods of Syracuse. For decades have been split between 2 city council districts. Court Street serving as a Berlin Wall. This separation decreased the strength of this historical neighborhood's voice. The Washington Square Task Force thanks the citizens Syracuse Redistricting Commission for their hard work and courage to tear down this wall. We hope the Common Council will swiftly approve this plan and not delay it. Next comment, the fastest growing population is downtown, yet the new map feels the least amount of advocacy because we are not homeowners. Instead of having a city core where the most people live in high density, it was chopped up to give more advocacy to the areas at the border of the city. West Side issues are the same of downtown. Homelessness and panhandling is highest downtown, for example, not at Tip Hill. So I am extremely concerned that maybe the original map could be alternated to keep a city core and push it out as far into all the other 4 until you reach the magic number of residents to keep a city core. The current District 4 councilor has done nothing in support of downtown residents. After multiple attempts to reach her over 5 years by me and several other downtown residents regarding tenant rights, rent stabilization, and crime. We will just go to the West Side councilor to meet their numbers, and our advocacy is lost completely. How can Visit Syracuse Group pitch a strong economic core community for visitors and business development if our advocacy and voice is squashed? Please keep a Syracuse City core downtown community its own district by expanding out as a circle/square until we hit the magic number. Next comment. Thank you to all that volunteer to work on the council district boundaries. As someone that volunteers and tries to recruit other volunteers, I know it can take up a lot of time. I am disappointed to see the greater Stratfor neighborhood divided up by the new boundaries, though. One of the goals is to keep the neighborhoods together, but the proposed map appears to have the streets of East Summit Ave and Onondaga Park in a different district. When the Greater Stratfor Neighborhood Association was formed about 25 years ago, there was a wide acceptance that the northern boundary to Stratfor was Bellevue Avenue, and the southern boundary was Glenwood Avenue/Elmwood Park, which includes the dead-end blocks of Robinu and Wesley. The western and eastern boundaries are more vague, so to be inclusive, the association was named the Greater Stratfor Neighborhood Association. Here are the boundaries of the Greater Stratfor Neighborhood Association. On the north, Bellevue Avenue between Velasco Road and Onondaga Avenue. On the east, South Avenue between Glenwood Avenue and Onondaga Avenue. Onondaga Avenue between South Avenue and Bellevue Avenue. On the south, Glenwood Avenue between Velasco Road and South Avenue. Includes Robinu Road and Wesley Road south of Glenwood Avenue. Includes the entirety of Elmwood Park. On the west, Velasco Road between Glenwood Avenue and Bellevue Avenue. I don't know if I just read that. Now I was concerned when I saw some of the neighborhood maps that were posted on your media sites throughout the process. Some of them mirrored a map that was done by a city hall bureaucrat several years ago, someone that evidently didn't know the city well. Some of those maps didn't have Tip Hill named, none of them had the Harley Green neighborhood listed, and all of them showed Stratfor extended to the western city boundary where the Winkworth neighborhood is. Winkworth and Stratmore have always been separate neighborhoods, and there are even neighborhood blocks in between the two. That should have been a red flag that the new maps could dissect some neighborhoods, which is what has happened with the greater Stratmore neighborhood. Since its inception, the GSNA has always been represented by one Common Council district, but the proposed district boundaries would change that, and that goes against one of the goals of the boundary project. I strongly urge you to make that change and not divide the eastern part of our neighborhood for the first time. All right, so that's all the online comments. And then we can go to the in-person comments. First comment is good work. Second comment is the maps are small lettering and do not make clear any landmarks. District 4 is up top with small street signs, small lettering, not easily read. I am elderly and would like to see and read this map. Where is Toomey Abbott Houses, District 4? Toomey Abbott can be and should be added back into the equation for the 4th district. Nob Hill would be a better fit outside of the 4th district area. Thank you. Next comment. Concerns. The Toomey Abbott / Carriage apartments are a large enough historically located in District 4 voting block. The removal of this senior African American block of residents is problematic. St. Vincent apartments, mostly transient, are located on Smith and can be redrawn to the other district, replacing it with Toomey and Carriage apartments. Next comment. The East Genesee Regent Association, EGRA, has been active in the city for 50 years. Its members include the property owners, small business, not-for-profits, cultural and religious institutions along East Genesee Street and East Fayette Street between Almond Street and Pine Street and Comstock Ave. They have historically been the tail and another neighborhood's dog. They have been added to council districts with which there are no commonalities of issues and concerns. The new maps have done that again, adding the EGRA area to the proposed District 2, which will largely represent the west side, and District 5, Eastwood. Even worse, the new maps divide the business district in two, effectively undermining whatever influence they have with the Common Council. To solve the problem, one, they need to be part of District 3, which is the University Hill district. The same issues that impact the EGR area are important to the balance of the University Hill institutional / neighborhood relations. I-81 project, influence of student housing developers into the neighborhood. 2, reunite the district into one Common Council district so they are not split in two. They have nothing in common with the West Side or Eastwood. They need to be part of the University Hill district. Next comment. Make sure these meetings are on Zoom. Next comment. My suggestion is they shouldn't be close to each other, the streets.
Okay.
Next comment. A lot of drug addicts and homeless shooting / speeding. Next comment. It's dangerous, a lot of gun violence. And that's the end of the comments.
Just to be clear, we had some young advocates at our last meeting and we encouraged them to participate and write comments. And so some of the ones that maybe don't seem as relevant are from our young citizens. All right, so those are our official comments. that we will be transcribing into that after action report, just so that everyone's voice was heard, and the next commission will be able to look back at some of these things that the community had asked for, and they can see if that's still needed or if it should be addressed, etc. Okay. So we will put those in a file for everyone to view, and they'll again go in that after action report. So for the final report, oh, good, Tony. He was saying he was able to clarify the purpose with the kids afterwards, which is wonderful. I was so happy that they came in and were able to kind of like look at the maps and be a part of that. I think that's important when you're young. So the final report, I don't know if Babette and Graham would like to speak to this. This is that after action report, which is separate than what we're going to be giving the council on the 9th.
I just have a question before we talk about that.
Sure.
Jahan, were there any comments from like our Facebook posts over the past couple months that we need to be thinking about including or reviewing?
There were
Social
Facebook
media?
comments. Yeah, there were, Babette, on Facebook, and I replied to everyone saying, please submit your comment to the official, online form. I provided them the link.
But we don't know if they actually did that or not, correct?
I'm not sure, but I mean, from their comments, whatever comments in each Facebook group, and even there's like around 32 Facebook groups that we're part of. I replied to each person individually. So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly who did and who didn't. Some of them said they'll do it. Some of them liked it. So I don't know, but yes.
Okay.
I think that Strathmore one might have been a result of a Facebook discussion, because that sounds like some of the things that had come up. It was like she's referencing, or they are referencing, one of like the social media maps that just like had the neighborhoods. It wasn't like an official like detailed map, and so I think that's what she's talking about with some of those labels being off, and so I think that was a result of some of your conversations.
Okay. And I just want to say real quick before Marissa says something, there is not a ghost in my picture. That's the little Diego Rivera print that I have behind me. That little boy keeps showing up, so it's not a ghost in my house.
Thank goodness. I just want to say that when the Greater Strathmore Neighborhood Association boundaries were drawn up, that did not include everybody in what they called the Greater Strathmore neighborhood. It was just pretty much made up by people who lived in a certain area of Strathmore without regard to anything else that's happening in this neighborhood. They say, oh yeah, we go all the way down to the south side, but the Strathmore Neighborhood Association rarely pays attention. And I'm part of that group trying to change that, rarely pays attention to, what's going down on South Ave and on the lower part of Colvin. It was just a made up district so that the Greater Strathmore Neighborhood Association would have a platform to stand behind. What the Greater Strathmore Neighborhood Association used to be was the Onondaga Park Association, which concerned ourselves with keeping the park clean, steady, cleaning up. We did a cleanup. We've done a cleanup like every year. And now all of a sudden Greater Strathmore came about, and without input from all of the residents that they are now including. So I just wanted to put that out there as something to consider, that GSNA doesn't have very many members from the entire community. Something which needs to change, and something I've been working on for the last, 4.5 years, but change is miserable and it's not going to happen anytime soon. But that comment made by, and I know who made that comment, does not stand for what the neighborhood should stand for. It's just a small group of people who are putting together their opinion on this. So just putting that out there so that we can all be clear on what the GSNA does and doesn't do.
Yes. And I think it's important to remember that everyone is entitled to their opinion. These opinions will go on the record. It's not really a part of our process for map making. Like that process has already ended. And so this is for
Exactly.
them to be on the record with it, and that is fine.
It's fine for them
So-
to be on the record for it, but it helps us to know that
Right.
this is not how the neighborhood thinks.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for that insight. Okay. Graham and Babette, did you want to jump into talking about that report?
Well, I'm going to let Graham do most of the talking, but you guys will be, because I'm way behind on stuff here, but you guys will be receiving a SurveyMonkey link from me in the next couple days. And what it's going to ask is, you know, your name, why you thought being a part of this commission was important to you, observations that you made during the process, things that we can use in the report, as well as your list of recommendations. And then, of course, there's a place for comments, and so we'll be gathering all of that. So I should have gotten it out to you last Friday, but I did not. So it's coming.
Perfect.
And then, Graham, you can, whatever else you want to add.
Yeah, all I will add is I spent some time scouring, looking for analogs of our report that other commissions, other redistricting bodies have put online, and I found a bunch of them, and I read several of them. And hey, look, there's it's a lake. Look at the.
Oh.
When I come back, I will add some more text.
Bring back fish.
So I think it would maybe be wise to kind of think about like a target deadline. I know I personally just like kind of always need a deadline for certain things, so we can just kind of like have our eyes on that. Do we have any suggestions, whether it be for, you know, collectively as a whole, or from, you know, from Jeff, on what we think we should be like kind of looking at and for a target for this after action? Are we looking at September, October, by the end of the year? What do we think is best?
In terms of, again,
The after action report.
after it's been adopted, I would suggest.
Yeah.
And I think the report could reflect what the Common Council does with the plan, or what the commission might still have to go through if they ask for changes.
Okay. We'll punt a little bit and just, I mean, hopefully it's accepted at the end of August, but that would be very, very lucky. So we'll see where we land. Okay. So I mean, that it was pretty tight agenda here. So that is what we have planned for today. I appreciate everyone being flexible and switching to WebEx. I hope everyone has remained healthy, and that there are no other exposures among us. Any questions, concerns?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling a little bit better today. Thank you. It was a nasty one yesterday, but I'm better today.
I would just add that for those of you I met at the hearing last Thursday night, it was a pleasure to be able to be in Syracuse and see a few of you face to face.
Thank Thank you, Jeff. It was nice to see you too. And I think our little special on WCNY is airing tonight, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, that was part of a larger program that I appeared on with Dave Lombardo and his Connect New York show. And we saw the video on the Syracuse City Council process halfway through, and it was really good. And I think I suggested in an email to you that you should show it to the Common Council before they consider the plan. It would shame them into have to accept it.
What time is that on tonight?
I meant to look before, but I've just not been myself. I would imagine 7 or 8 tonight. It
I'll
was
just look it
very
up.
fancy. I felt like very Hollywood. They came to my house and put the lighting and everything up. It was
You were
the whole
great.
thing. Thank you. So media is still ticking. If we get other, requests, we will send them out as we get them, but no news to report until things start rolling. So for new business, I mean, we kind of already discussed it, that the dates are, because I know a couple people have joined late. The study session is this coming Wednesday. I won't be able to go. So John will go, but it's pretty simple and straightforward. The first, we can go, but again, it will just be John and I who will be addressed. And we're handing over that map, even though they already have it. And then the 9th is the big one. So we found that out today. So August 9th, I would love for everyone to be there, so we can be united in this. And that's where we will field those questions and that discussion. Charles, go ahead.
And what's the times on both of those? The one on Monday is at 12 or is it 1?
12 is the study session on the first,
Okay.
and then
And
1
then the
o'clock is the official meeting.
Okay, and then the 9th?
I'm sorry, you said the study session on the 27th was at 12 noon. Did I write that down correctly?
Yes, the 27th is also at 12 noon. The study sessions start at 12, and then the state council meeting is at 1.
Okay.
And so then on the 9th, it's different, of course. So the 9th is at 4 p.m. And that's our special meeting for maps. That's the big one.
And then you said the Common Council has a regular meeting at August 1st at 1 p.m., correct?
That's their regular meeting. That's when we thought the vote would happen, but clearly it won't.
Yeah, it won't.
So
Okay.
the next regular meeting is the 22nd, and we'll
Mhm.
see. We'll see. I don't know what will happen. Charles, is your hand still up, or is it like a new question?
No, I'm down.
Oh, okay. Any other questions?
When do we get to celebrate this thing?
I don't know, but I would like, once everything is kind of sealed up, I would like for us to go out to a local establishment and toast to our hard work, and to the bonds that we have built. I think that would be nice, and I'd love for our families and our partners, everyone, to be able to come and see the people that they have heard so much about. My husband could tell everyone's names and what their interests are in this committee, and all of that. So I think it would be good for our families to be able to be present as well. So yes, we will celebrate, absolutely. And I think there was talk at our last hearing that many people want a group picture, and so we should also get that together when we're able to.
Fluff up the hair, do the makeup.
I will give everyone notice so we can all look our very best. All right. Any other questions or concerns around agenda points today? Nothing. Okay. So we will, if anything else comes up, we will send out those emails, but everyone has the dates for the things that are coming up, and then we'll kind of go from there. But if you want to contribute to like after action or anything, Babette and Graham are heading that up, but that you can find links to it on the Google Drive as well. And we'll just kind of go from there. was a quick one, painless.
So there's no meeting next Monday.
There's no meeting next Monday. I don't really see a
Okay.
point to that.
This is the end of the Monday meetings?
I mean, I think this is the end of the regular Monday meetings. And anything that we would have after this point is talking about our reports, honestly. I know it's been a long time coming. We're
Happy
coming into the finish line.
What time is the meeting on August 1st?
August 1st is the study session is at 12, and then the regular council meeting is at 1.
All right.
And we're on the study session, are we not?
Yeah, they told John and I that we had to be there, not the rest of the council, but it's open, you're allowed to go. So I encourage
Okay.
you to come.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure how that whole thing works.
Yes.
I'll just add that Marissa Zanfordino, who's been with me on these calls for the entire duration, is sitting for the New York State bar exam this week. So if anyone wants to wish her the best, I'll let her know. I excused her from tonight's meeting.
I
Oh,
certainly
yeah,
wish her the
absolutely.
best.
Yeah,
Send her our
been there, done
best.
that with my husband. It's like, no talking, leave me alone. It's like, okay. Yeah, so it's quite the exam to sit for.
Absolutely. Wish her the best for us. Okay.
All
All
the years I've been making videos.
All right. So if that is all, we have a motion to adjourn. John makes a motion. Does anyone, and Jason seconds, all in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Have a wonderful week. Stay healthy.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.